Hey, Doug with Andriots PaintSource here. Hey, from time to time, we end up on a project ourselves. We sell paint and wood finishes, fine wood finishes. One of those finishes is Waterlox. And occasionally we get a customer that has a unique situation where we go out to the job and look at the job. This particular porch floor had Cabot stain. They used a deck stain, had lap marks all over it. Those old oil-based stains are so hard to use anyway. This customer had a disaster. We can show you the pictures, but just trust us. We spent 2 days sanding the old stain off. We had to get in all the corners. This is all fresh sanded now. This was new wood. So the client has 2 or 3 days in staining it. They used the wrong product. Now the sanding is done. Now we're going to show you the right way. And what she wanted at the beginning was Waterlox. This is an 1896 house. Her grandmother lived here. This was her grandmother's house. She's got this house. There's not another house that cries for Waterlox like an old house. This is a true old world oil finish. This is what was put on front porches for years, and it's still the best choice. That's what's crazy. We have some old world finishes that are not as good. We've got some newer modern technology, but in this particular case, we're going to stain the boards. Waterlox and Czar stain mixed together. I'm going to show you a couple of things I like to use. This is a little different than you might think about putting on floor finish. Normally we'd use a Lamsel applicator, but on this particular project, we wanted to add a stain to the Waterlox. Now we could have stained the floor and then put the Waterlox over it like any traditional finish. But what we wanted to do here is this was pine. And so pine is notorious for being very blotchy. And so sometimes people use what they call pre-stain conditioner, and you may have heard of that. But the nice thing is the Waterlox and stain mix seems to eliminate or alleviate a lot of that hassle, but it also gives us a little flexibility to add some color a little darker than the wood might take. Now, of course, when we stain wood, anytime we stain the wood, we're just trying to accentuate the grain pattern and such. But we also, when we color wood, we also accentuate other things like sanding marks. So this had to be sanded really to a protocol. If you have big 80 grit sanding marks in here, it's going to show through the stain. The one thing I want to show here, the main thing, I've got my Bravo stainer from Worcester. I've got it on the Worcester adapter pole. I've got it at an angle so I can be up here about 3 feet away and I can see what I'm doing. I'm not down on the floor, I'm not up close to it. And with this angle, I can keep that brush just flat on the floor. When we have a stain in, you can see where I lay the stain down or lay the brush down, it gets a little dark there. So we do have to make sure that we have this very even when we have the Waterlox and stain mix. If this was just straight Waterlox, you wouldn't worry about that. It'd be a clear finish. But once we have the color in there, we need to look for putting it on very even. And this will be the first coat. This is sealer finish or marine sealer in this case. We'll do a second coat. We could do a second color coat, or we may just do another coat of sealer, and then we'll put our 2 coats of Waterlox Marine Finish. This is going to be a great project. We'll show you more tomorrow.